In the year 1813, a general won a battle he didn't even know had started. He wasn't leading troops into combat. He wasn't observing the fight. He spent the day far from the front lines, confident that nothing serious would happen. Meanwhile, soldiers clashed, cannons roared, and flags fell. Chaos reigned. When reports finally reached him, he was officially a hero. You already know this is a terrible idea. Europe in 1813 was a continent on fire. Wars raged across borders. Armies moved fast. Communication moved slower. The scene was a small town in Saxony, caught between two warring empires. Villagers watched from windows. Smoke rose from chimneys and battlefields. The general commanded a division that was part of a larger army. Hundreds of soldiers relied on him. Orders were meant to flow through him. His reputation was solid. Brave, respected, and slightly overconfident. His men trusted his judgment. Or at least they believed they had to. The enemy was close. Skirmishes had already started days earlier. Tension ran high. Supplies were moving slowly. Scouts reported conflicting messages. Confusion was common. The general stayed behind his lines. He held meetings, sipped coffee, and wrote reports. He believed his presence was enough. Officers relayed commands to soldiers. Some understood perfectly. Others misinterpreted. Miscommunication was inevitable. The troops were eager. They wanted action, orders, anything to guide them. Fear mixed with excitement. Unknown to the general, fighting had already begun. The first shots were fired hours ago. No one realized the commander was completely unaware. History was trying to warn them. The scene was chaotic, but no one stopped it. The absurdity was building. The general believed battles required careful preparation. He thought his army would hold positions until he arrived. He planned to give orders from a safe distance. Maps spread across his table. Pens poised. Pride fueled every decision. He assumed the enemy would wait for him too. Timing, he believed, was everything. He assumed soldiers would act precisely as written in manuals. He assumed officers would report every skirmish. He assumed nothing could surprise him. Messages arrived slowly, often misunderstood. Some officers exaggerated threats. Others downplayed danger. The general ignored minor reports. "Not urgent," he said. "Nothing is happening." Meanwhile, units engaged without guidance. Skirmishes grew larger. Chaos spread. Officers improvised. They made decisions the general had never planned. Soldiers advanced, retreated, flanked, and charged. The enemy responded with equal improvisation. It was a real fight, with real consequences, but the general remained oblivious. They truly believed this would work. Orders from far away would control the battle. You already know this is a terrible idea. At first, minor reports trickled in. Scouts mentioned firing, but no one stressed urgency. The general dismissed it. He assumed it was routine skirmishing. A cannon blast echoed near headquarters. He noted it casually in a journal. Officers attempted to clarify the situation. Conflicting messages arrived. Confusion increased. Some messengers arrived soaked and muddy, reporting losses and advances. The general replied with general instructions. Keep positions. Stay calm. Soldiers began moving without orders. Some advanced too far. Some retreated unnecessarily. Flags waved across the battlefield, but signals were misread. Noise grew louder. Cannon fire intensified. Smoke obscured everything. The general still believed the enemy was hesitant. Troops were exhausted. Morale wavered. Some began improvising bold moves. Observers from nearby hills shook their heads. Chaos was obvious to anyone watching. History was trying to warn them. The signs were everywhere. And yet, the commander remained blissfully unaware. The battle intensified. Soldiers clashed fiercely, unaware of the general's absence. One unit advanced too quickly, exposing its flank. The enemy counterattacked. Cannon fire ricocheted through the lines. Smoke and dust made vision nearly impossible. Orders from junior officers conflicted. Confusion spread like wildfire. Some soldiers charged bravely. Others panicked and fled. A group of cavalry misinterpreted signals and attacked the wrong position. Infantry had to adjust on the fly. Shouts echoed across the battlefield. The enemy pressed forward, sensing weakness, yet stumbled into unplanned traps. Artillery misfires caused chaos on both sides. Smoke hid every movement. Sentries reported flanking attacks. Officers shouted contradictory commands. Troops improvised brilliantly. They attacked, retreated, and reformed, unaware of the general's absence. The tide of battle shifted multiple times in minutes. By late afternoon, both sides were exhausted. Casualties mounted. Supplies dwindled. The general finally received a detailed report. His eyes widened. He had won. Somehow, his forces had prevailed despite his absence. The soldiers cheered. The officers congratulated him. He was hailed as a hero, though he had been miles away from the fight. History laughed quietly. Chaos, improvisation, and luck had done what planning could not. While the general celebrated, the battlefield told a different story. Troops were battered, supplies destroyed, and units scattered. Enemy forces suffered similar disorganization. Both sides relied on luck. Several officers were injured attempting risky maneuvers. Cannon crews were exhausted and some weapons were damaged. Temporary bridges and roads were destroyed, causing logistical nightmares. Reinforcements struggled to reach the front due to miscommunication. Messages were delayed further, compounding confusion. Some soldiers were lost, never accounted for. Medical staff worked frantically, overwhelmed by chaos. The general's absence left a leadership vacuum during critical moments. He was unaware of near disasters that almost lost the battle entirely. Yet, he received accolades and medals for brilliant strategy. The soldiers who fought bravely behind the scenes were barely recognized. The battle was won on luck, improvisation, and confusion. And the general continued to believe it was his genius. News of the victory spread quickly. Headlines praised the general as a master strategist. Officers quietly told the truth to each other but were ignored. Public perception mattered more than reality. Soldiers laughed nervously in private, knowing how chaotic everything had been. Reports glorified his absence, describing the general as calm and decisive. Families celebrated, believing their loved ones had fought under brilliant leadership. Historians later described the battle as absurd. How could a fight be won without the commander knowing it happened? The enemy retreated, confused by the unpredictable moves of the troops. Medals and honors were awarded, sometimes to those who hadn't actually influenced the battle. The general wrote memoirs emphasizing careful planning and leadership, omitting his absence entirely. Junior officers shook their heads, knowing improvisation and luck had done all the work. The story became a legendary example of how human error and chance can create unintended success. This story isn't about a clever general. It's about human overconfidence and blind trust in authority. People believed plans alone could control chaos. They assumed messages were clear and actions predictable. They assumed luck would not intervene. Small mistakes compounded into near disaster. Improvisation, courage, and randomness shaped the outcome instead. The general unknowingly rode the wave of human error to victory. Troops adapted, survived, and succeeded without guidance. History often rewards those unaware of their own mistakes. How many victories are really accidents hidden by perception? And how often do we celebrate people who had no idea what was happening around them?